What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another match analysis. This time we are analysing the Southampton versus Manchester City game. As you can see from the smile on my face, we finally picked up another 3 points, which is great to see. Our final game of the calendar year 2018, and what a great 2018 it has been for Manchester City. And it's nice to end it on a high note after a couple of very tricky and difficult games in this little tricky period that we've been going through. It's nice to pick up a win and have something to go at for the match at the Etihad on Thursday night against Liverpool. So we'll go have a look at what went right and wrong and how we can improve towards that Liverpool game. So first up, we'll go look at our starting lineup, and Fernandinho was back in along with the two Silvas, David and Bernardo Silva. Mahrez started as expected. I was expecting Sane to start in this game alongside Mahrez. It wasn't, however. It was Sterling that was starting on the left, Mahrez on the right. Went with Aguero up front instead of Jesus. We saw Company come in. I was expected to see Otamendi if we was going to make a change at the centre, but instead it was Company that came in. Stones went onto the bench, went with Laporte and Danilo instead of Walker, and also Zinchenko went in at left back. I'm a bit fearful of Zinchenko playing in the left back position. He might well do, but I'm fearful of him going up against one-on-one with Mo Salah, particularly if we're playing Leroy Sané on the left. It's going to be a very difficult evening down on our left-hand side if that is the case. I have my fears there. I imagine Pep might start tightening things up a little bit from there, but we need to cut out the mistakes, the defensive mistakes, and obviously try and improve on our set pieces. Trying to see what we did in this game anyway. So early on, City's high line, like we like to do, was exposed. Austin was through, miscontrolled. Ederson judged it perfectly, ran in, intercepted, sliding in, good interception. Will do Ederson a world of good being able to do that. As you can remember from last a month ago or so, he had a habit of rushing in and bringing players down. In this case, well justified that he didn't. Now, Manchester City on 10 minutes was in the clear. I think it was a 1-2 between Bernardo Silva and Mahrez, sent Bernardo Silva clear on the right hand side. He looks up, slots it in with his left foot to David Silva, and David Silva's there just to poke it home. Very simple, into the net. You know, get a second, please. That's all I was thinking at the time. We've gone 1-0 ahead. Get that second. We can start thinking about that Liverpool game. Then, as the first half went on, Aguero missed a good pullback, hitting it straight at the keeper, McCarthy. Mahrez then missed a great chance at City. Were dilly-dallying around in their own penalty area, passing it around. It was all dangerous. We worked it out lovely. And 10 seconds later, if you weren't paying attention, you look up, all of a sudden, Riyad Mahrez is running at the Southampton defence. Instead of passing it, goes for a shot and just bends it past the post. Would have been a fantastic team goal. It would have been a worldly team goal, really. Unlucky in that case. But typical City over the last month or so. Typical Manchester City. 37 minutes in, Zinchenko was caught napping near our own box. He's intercepted by Højbjerg, and he ends up running, charging. He doesn't choose to pass it. He just goes for a shot, sees what happens, and it goes flying in the back of the net. You know how it is. 1-1, and all our hard work over the last 37 minutes, building stuff up and making things happen and getting our 1-0 lead. It's cut short from one defensive mistake. I feel sorry for Zinchenko. He's not a left back. He isn't a defender. So to ask him to be able to do everything that you'd expect of a defender, it's unfair. He isn't a defender. He's an attacking midfielder. And when you're playing attacking players in defensive roles, this is what happens. This is what's going to happen. And it's going to happen against Liverpool, and Liverpool exploit it more and more. And they kept targeting Zinchenko on purpose, particularly on free kicks and set pieces. You know, it needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed in January, in my opinion. I think a left back's needed more than a defensive midfielder, just purely because we've got players like Stones, Danilo and Gundogan that can slot in defensive midfield, who it's a defensive role, so defensive players you expect to be able to do a job there. We're asking Delph, who's a defensive player, to be able to play at left back. Okay, but Mendy's that injury prone. We've only got Zinchenko that can really go there. You're asking an attacking player to do the job of a defensive player. It's difficult. It's a clear gap there. We've got money to spend. Please, Man City, go and address it. Why not? Go and address it. Sort it out. We don't have to think about that position again then for years and years, because we'll have obviously players and cover there, so we don't have to really think about that, and then we can target central midfielder either end of January into the summer. So yeah, a little bit for us to improve on. But there we go. A minute later, like I said, he was targeted. WARD-PROWSE ended up getting into a tussle. No penalty was given. I've seen penalties given for them. It would have been a very weak penalty, but referees like giving weak penalties these days in the Premier League. You're giving the referee an excuse to give a penalty. There's a slight shove. Not for me, but if it's Man City in the opposition's area and we get a shove like that, I'm calling for a pen. So yeah, a little bit of luck there. And speaking of luck, 45th minute, we get a little bit more lucky. Raheem Sterling runs down the left. just squares the ball, takes a big deflection off. No other than WARD-PROWSE, who just went down for the penalty, goes goalwards. McCarthy can't adjust in time, ends up going into the back of the net. 2-1 right on half-time. What a relief. We've got our lead back, and from nothing, gets even better than that, Blues. 45 plus 3 minutes in the last minute of added on time. Zinchenko does a nice 1-2. I think it was with Raheem Sterling. Puts a lovely ball in. Southampton's defenders aren't small. Aguero rises highest. Beautiful ball in right between the centre backs. We've been putting in 45 crosses against Crystal Palace, 35 crosses that weren't working against Leicester. We put a cross in here, absolutely bob on the money. Aguero gets a great header in, gets it low down, goes under McCarthy. He'll be disappointed. We go in at half time with 3-1 lead, and I'm delighted for Alexander there to be able to make up for his defensive mistake by getting an assist and kind of killing the game from there. Half time, 3-1 up, no clean sheet, but you know, could have been so much worse in my opinion, and I'm delighted. Like I said, Aguero gets his goal, Zinchenko gets his assist, makes amends. We're making things happen, particularly in the middle. Fernandinho, David Silva and Bernardo Silva linking up very well. It's a very comfortable midfield, and it's a very wasn't a comfortable half, but the scoreline reflects that it was, and it set the precedent there for the second half for us to be able to just turn up, do our thing and see what happens. Saw a quick free kick go in. Aguero thought slightly just offside, so if we had VAR it would have been ruled out, but a lovely twist, turn and shot, ends up firing it against the crossbar. So unlucky. It was a good strike too. Raheem Sterling got into space, manages to pull away from Ramsey, the defender, who goes in clumsily. Not a lot in it. Sterling goes down, wants a penalty. Like I said, if Southampton had got their penalty in the first half, and this would have been a penalty in the second half. In the end, neither penalty are given, and I can understand why they weren't given, and if they'd have been given, I'd have understood why they would have been given. But there we go. Swings and roundabouts. 85 minutes in, after targeting Fernandinho, a couple of Southampton players were for some reason in the second half. Højbjerg went in high, studs up onto his ankle, ends up going into a scissoring motion as well, swinging his leg around. Fernandinho weren't happily, rightfully so, and Højbjerg was sent off, much to his disgust. Yeah, pretty nasty challenge, completely unnecessary. My opinion, a red card. There we go. That's kind of the talking points, really. Full time, 3-1, 3 points. You know, damage done just before half-time, no clean sheet, but a nice recovery after going 1-0 ahead in our previous couple of games, and then end up going 1-1 and then falling behind and letting things get on top of us. We responded well, got a bit of luck on our side, just what's needed in this situation, and it's helped us close that gap up to 7 points now. We're now sitting 2 points clear, I think, of Tottenham, who are in third. We've moved up to second with 7 points behind Liverpool. We've got Liverpool next at the Etihad. They've got to come to our patch. Liverpool unbeaten. They've only dropped points, I think, in 3 of their games this season. Something ridiculous. They're doing what we were doing last season, so it's up to us to go and put a stop to them and see what we can do. Can we close it down to 4 points? We'll see. Now, we'll check the stats for this game first. Manchester City completely dominating. 77% possession, or just under 77% possession anyway. Absolutely incredible. Right near 80% away from home too. Just 23.5% possession from Southampton. City ended up having nearly 3 times as many shots as Southampton. 5 shots for Southampton, 4 on target. That's decent. City 14 shots, 6 on target. 3 of them have gone away. That's the clinicalness that we were looking for from this game, in my opinion. That's just what we wanted. And that's just what we got, and that's what we need against Liverpool. More like this. We need to be able to work the ball into space, have plenty of possession, just cut out the defensive mistakes, and I think we'll be fine. Honestly, I really do. 236 passes for Southampton, 783 for Manchester City. 89% pass completion rate compared to their 67% possession pass completion rate. It's nice from City, that 89% possession. That's decent in my opinion. We want to get it to 90. Always looking for 90. We've seen it get as high as 92, 93. Still, not too bad. Plenty of touches in the attacking third. 208 of our 783 were in the attacking third. Managed to connect with 78% of our passes in the attacking third too. We're making things happen. 13 key passes, 6 clear-cut chances created for Manchester City in this game. Was at our creative best, and that's mainly due to David Silva and Bernardo Silva being able to operate and having a rock behind them in Fernandinho, and that's what Fernandinho does. Gives everyone that bit of confidence. He covers, he's here, there and everywhere, and he defends well, wins interceptions and wins the second ball. Does all of it, does everything in that holding midfield role. He's absolutely perfect. Allows us to be at our creative best, and that's why. City, 18 balls into the box this time, not 45, not 35, 18, connected with only 3, still quite disappointing. Like I said, Zinchenko got that one absolutely perfect with Aguero to be able to get that goal. 8 corners, again, quite disappointed on our corners. Southampton weren't great on them either, so we didn't concede off them. Can't look into it too much. Defensive stats, more tackles for Southampton, more interceptions, more blocks, more clearances, more headed clearances, aerial duels. similar. City ended up having 17 out of 33, winning 17 aerial duels out of 33 compared to their 16 out of 33. So very similar, but Southampton dominate defensive stats, City dominating attacking stats. You can't ask for much more, in my opinion, from an away match. Only bug point is I'd like to have had a clean sheet. It's not happened. We've always got the next game. Wouldn't it be perfect? A clean sheet against Liverpool. That would really show how far that we've come, and it'll show that this little sticky patch, we're over that now, and we mean business. So beating Liverpool and sending a statement out, catching up their goal difference, sitting 4 points behind them if we win that game, that'd be fantastic. So it's not all doom and gloom just yet. Just feel like it's going to take some stopping beating Liverpool. Now for this game, good win, nice performance, midfield three, absolutely perfect. Man of the match will go to any of our midfield three. David Silva did well to get his goal. Bernardo Silva's got an assist. Zinchenko did well to recover after making a defensive error. Aguero done well to get his goal too. However, my man of the match, Fernandinho, is absolutely solid. Shown over the last couple of weeks why we've missed him. He's come back. I think I've fallen in love with Fernandinho. His defence splitting passes, his interceptions, he's winning the second balls, he's winning the set pieces, judging the game. He's absolutely perfect. Didn't like that Southampton tried to take him out there, targeting him because I know he's had an injury recently. But there you go. Like I said, David Silva or Bernardo Silva get a special shout out in this game too. Our midfield absolutely perfect. Fernandinho, my man of the match, sets us up nicely going into that Liverpool game. Speaking of the Liverpool game, we will have a preview up for that very soon, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. But we're heading into the new year, we're heading into transfer season, so if you're interested in Manchester City transfer updates, and I'm expecting some decent updates throughout January, as I'm hoping that Manchester City will look to make some additions, at least one. So if you're interested in the latest news with that, make sure you stay tuned. I'll have transfer videos coming out numerous times throughout January. Also got plenty of previews and analysis is coming up too, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Subscribe, press the big red button, press the bell and put your push notifications on. Make sure you leave a big thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Can we catch Liverpool? What do you think is going to happen against Liverpool? What can we do to be able to improve for that Liverpool game? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all again for the next Manchester City video. So it's been JSGC. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend, Blues. Enjoy the 3 points, and we'll be back for that Liverpool game. Huge game. Peace. Ciao for now.